I'm not a vampire. I'm not a vampire. I'm not a vampire. I have to get this figured out immediately. Was this from dealing with Ceradur? He's the last vampire that I know that I encountered. It's not like he bit me, but some sources say that they only have to scratch you for you to be infected with vampirism. I did get touched by him, but I thought I drank a cure disease potion afterwards, didn't I? I use a lot of potions, but I remember taking one after the battle against the vampires in the mine that Azura sent us to clear out, but I don't remember if I drank one after the battle with Ceradur. Is this my fault? Was I just being forgetful? Or was it something to do with the vampire hunter in Bruma? I cannot discount that. So, being my logical, hopefully calm, non-panic self, I will begin my investigation into this vampire hunter. I have, of course, heard that claim before, very recently with Ceradur in the Imperial City, so I will not be fooled twice. Well, I don't think I was really fooled the first time either, as I caught on to several suspicious facts about Ceradur right away. As for the nightmare that I had, the one that had me waking up screaming, it was my face that I saw in the dream. The face that had his blood drained by the vampire. Then, when I woke up, I felt the urge to feed on Vilya, who was sleeping nearby. I will never become one of those monsters. I have to find out about this vampire hunter, if he wasn't the real vampire who fed on me. I also have to take a cure disease potion, but maybe it's too late for that. If it is, then perhaps I will have to seek out a real cure. Apparently there is one, but it's not readily shared. It is supposed to be a difficult thing to accomplish, but if one is determined enough, then they can get the cure. If that is to be my fate, then I will focus on what I have to do as soon as we deal with this so-called vampire hunter. Yes, I'm quite scared. Perhaps I should have taken my helm off when I addressed the Countess. But I was going to sell this ring. Because it, yes. This... Where is it? Resist magic is good. I don't quite need this reflect spell. It's worth a lot, this ring, I'll bet, and I can sell it for good coin. Okay, so... As for what I'm doing... I've discovered that Braden Lyrian, a resident here in Bruma, was actually a vampire. He was slain by a vampire hunter who has appeared in town named Raynil Draelus. However, the circumstances of this incident sound sketchy at best. I should make my way to the crime scene at Braden's house to investigate. I cannot be a vampire. No. Ugh.
Hello.
Filthy, disgusting things. The sun is not harming me, so... I mean, that's one sign. I don't know if it means anything, because maybe I'm just in the initial stages. Even though I drank that potion of cure disease.
Morning.
Where was this house? Somebody showed it to me. Okay, it's right to the right.
Heard any news from the other provinces? Are you not feeling well?
Oh, you can see that? Okay. Got to talk with this vampire hunter. Maybe he is the vampire feasting on everyone.
Body's still warm.
Please leave me be.
Looks like there's a killer about.
What happened here?
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves, our Raynil Draelus, will be allowed access.
Raynil Draelus? You just trust him at his word. What can you tell me about Raynil Draelus?
The culprit in this crime has already been dealt with. It's just a matter of wrapping up the details. I'd tell you more, but frankly, I don't know who you are, so I'm not sure that I can trust you with that sort of information.
Oh, we can change that.
We'll see.
Decided to, make him like me more by speaking to him for a little bit.
Oh, that guy. I'd like... Thank you. I think... Right. Is that so? You're a big, fat... How nice. That's... You're wasting your breath. I see.
So, Can you tell me anything more about Reynold Drayless?
I suppose there's no harm in telling you what happened. Word is bound to get around Bruma anyway. Turns out that Braden Lyrian is a vampire. Or was. If it wasn't for Reynold Drayless, we may never have uncovered the truth. Let me explain. In the last week or so, we've found 2 bodies stashed in shallow graves outside the city walls. The bodies had puncture wounds on their necks. The bodies were those of some beggars who used to wander the streets looking for handouts. Vampire probably thought no one would miss them. Luckily for us, Reynold arrived in town. He said he was a vampire hunter, so we asked for his help. He tracked the vampire to this house. When he entered the place around noon, Braden was sleeping. He was able to slay him at that point. Luckily, Braden's wife wasn't home. Poor thing. She didn't even know her husband was infected. We did a follow-up investigation, and it's true that no one recollects seeing Braden out in the daylight. He's only been spotted at night. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell you, so you can see we really don't need any help, but thanks for the offer.
It's all just circumstantial. What can you tell me about Braden Lyrian?
As far as I know, he was a good man. I never saw this coming. But vampires are masters of deception, so I guess it makes sense.
And anything more you can tell me about Reynold Drayless?
I'm impressed. It only took him a day to track the vampire down. I guess that's why he does it for a living.
Okay.
Feel free to question anyone in town. They shouldn't give you too much trouble.
Alright, so you're giving me... okay. Permission to do that. This was the victim.
Halt!
Hello?
I can't believe this is happening. Please, please, I need your help. My husband was no vampire. It's ridiculous. No one will listen to me.
I'm listening. Please calm down. I want to help.
Forgive me. I loved my husband dearly, and to lose him this way makes no sense. Anything you can do to help would be wonderful. This is all happening so fast.
Tell me what happened.
I screamed and ran out into the street. Some city watch were nearby and heard me, I suppose, as they arrived quickly. I heard the Dunmer identify himself as Reynold Drayless. He said he was a vampire hunter, and that Braden was his mark. The guards seemed to know about Reynold, and after a search of the house, the body of some beggar was found stashed in our basement. The guards sent for Carriers, who is an investigator for crimes here in Bruma. In minutes, Reynold convinced Carriers that Braden was a vampire.
The evidence looks bad for Braden.
Well, of course it does. It was obviously planted here. Why would he stash a body in his own house? That's ridiculous. And another thing. The guards are making a big deal out of no one seeing Braden out in the daylight. Well, of course that's the case. He works at night and has to sleep during the day. Why does that make him a vampire?
What was his profession?
It's all that Reynold character. I don't trust him. The thing that bothers me the most is that I swear I've seen him before. Of course, he says he's never been here. Look, there isn't much more to say. Please, help me clear my husband's name.
Can you tell me anything more about Reynold Drayless? That's that dark elf I met at the inn, wasn't it? That mouthy one.
I have no idea where he'd be. Just find him and make him tell you the truth. I swear he's a liar.
Okay.
I know I sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
Okay.
Excuse me.
That's a real shame.
Let's go down and see where this body was stashed. There's nothing on him but sandals and pants. Thief of Virtue.
Everywhere.
Nova Roma leaflet. Buying, selling, who cares? We'll do either at Nova Roma. We'll do whatever it takes to make the sale. I was a little desperate. Luring gaze. Oops. Thief of Virtue. Let's see if there's anything else down here. Any clues? Grapes. Reminds me of Skindred. Lockpick. I'll take that. I wish Fergus was here. I think it's time to summon my ally, because I need him to open up this lock. Oops. Whoa, I'm hungry.
Yeah, do you need me?
No.
Bye.
Open. Yes, I do. Here. Open this, please.
Let me try. There, that's it.
It's just a long sword in there.
Excuse me.
Hello.
All right.
Oh, you're back.
Let's go confront that dark elf. Well, I actually wanted to use my mace on last time. The first time I met him, I should say. Who she said, Reno. She says she recognizes Reno, the wife. I think I should locate Reno and ask him any questions. Still not burning in the sunlight.
How are you today?
Hello, fellow Breton.
Are you talking to me?
Last I saw he was here. That's him.
Yes?
Oh, wait. Your last name is not Draelus, is it? You're Alval Yuvani, that's right, sorry.
Bye.
So I'm looking for another dark elf. I have no idea where he could be.
Have pity, sir. I got nothing to eat.
How are you?
Been better.
Shut up, beggar.
Fine.
Heard any news from the other provinces?
There are rumors that the Nords are attempting to capture the whole of Solstein and remove the Imperial fort on the island.
The Nords have always been protective of
What
their
are
territory.
your kin up to
It's no
in
wonder they get
Solstein?
involved in these disputes.
Why would they want to remove the fort there? It seems a little strange. I should locate Reno and ask him some questions as well. I should start with some of the merchants and innkeepers in town.
So long.
Maybe they'll know where
Farewell.
he is.
Go
They'll
ahead.
know more
I'm
information about him. So I'm looking for another dark elf. Gerald View. Is this not an inn? I believe it is.
How are you today? Go
Hello?
ahead, please.
Ah, this is more my taste.
Farewell.
This place is much nicer.
That was the strangest book I ever read.
Hello.
Welcome to Bruma, stranger. Hafid Hollowleg. I'm your host at Gerald View. Bed, food, whatever you need.
Do you know Reno Draelus? Can you tell me about him if you do?
Ah, you mean that vampire hunter. He's staying over at Olav's Tap and Tack. It's near the city gates. You can't miss it.
I was just there.
Bye.
Okay, let's go. I'll search every damn room there.
Hello.
Acrobatics, hello. Oh, that didn't work out too well, did it?
I'm listening.
Reno Draelus. Reno Draelus. Hello?
What can I do for you today?
Do you know where Reno Draelus is?
I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know.
Then you're gonna get to know me real
Yes?
quick.
You're revolting. I doubt it. Really now. I won't fight you. Please. Yeah, right. I won't fight. Ugh.
Apparently I'm not doing too well.
Please, I'm in bed. That never happened. You've got a... Ugh. That's foul. That never... That's a... You're a... No, you do me too much on... Yeah. You win this... Get a... Really now, you're such a... You should be... Really... That's pretty... I can't argue with that. So you say... You win... Ugh. Please, I'm embarrassed. Please. That never happened. I can't... Get away from me. That never... You win... You're a... No, you do me too much honor. Good. So you win... Get away from me. That's enough.
A hard Nord to
Not
try to make friends
really.
with.
I doubt it.
Here, how about a little gold?
For me. Thank you. That's very good.
Now, what do you know about Reyno Draelus? Where is he?
Raynill's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
Wait, but hold on.
What can I do for you today?
I need this information. What did Braden Lyrian do for a living? What can you tell me about him?
I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Reynill killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder.
Okay, anything else you can tell me about Reyno Draelus?
He isn't in right now, so you should be clear to check it out. Just don't tell anyone I gave the key to you.
I actually thought he was there. Okay. All right.
Just look for me if you need anything else.
Well, I stayed in the other room. I've entered Reyno's room. I should carefully search the place for anything suspicious. The book back there. Gelliborn's journal. I've discovered a small journal in Reyno's room at the inn. It seems he was part of a group of adventurers who uncovered an artifact of some sort from some Aelid ruins. They all agreed to stash the artifact in a cave until more research could be done about it. Each of them took a key to the chest it was secured in. The two other members of the group were Braden and someone named Gelliborn. I need to find out more about Gelliborn to confirm my suspicions about Reyno. Olav may be able to help with that. Okay, it's time to start reading. The 8th day has passed, and still there's no sign of the artifact. We've covered most of the remainder of the outer guard tower, and scoured the crumbling gatehouse ruins, but not one clue has arisen as to where it may have been buried. It's quiet out here, as if the ruins were paying respects to the Aelid inhabitants that disappeared here long ago. We haven't encountered anything hostile, but if we do, I think we're ready. The Brotherhood's been in worse scrapes before. Braden paid good money for the information as to our treasure's whereabouts, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be yet another fiasco. This morning, our camp was set upon by some bandits who were protecting what they claimed was their territory. Considering that we were outnumbered 3-1, we did very well. Only Reyno suffered a small wound, but that was easily healed by a potion that Braden had thoughtfully brought with him on our expedition. After getting rid of the bandits' corpses, we set out to tackle the largest part of the ruin, the remains of the Great Keep. 2 of the walls of the once mighty structure were collapsed, scattering the telltale whitish rock so typical of the Aelid architecture in this part of Tamriel. This made our assault on the ruin difficult, as many of the larger chunks of wall were far too heavy for us to move. Braden suggested that we search the center of the building's foundation for any underground entrances, which was typical for this type of keep. His guess paid off, and after several hours of back-breaking work, we managed to clear an opening just large enough for us to squeeze through and enter an ancient stairwell leading down into the ground. We decided to wait until morning's light to begin our descent into the depths of the ruin. After a restless sleep, all of us were quite excited at the prospect of what might lie ahead. Eagerly, we dipped our torches in a fresh container of pitch, lit them, and entered the inky blackness of the stairwell. The stale air was choked with dust and fine grit, a sign that no one had entered this portion of the ruins in a very long time. We became excited, as that meant no other tomb robbers had gotten there before us. The stairwell eventually leveled out into a corridor of sorts that snaked its way to the north. As we carefully walked along, I scanned the floor and walls very carefully for any type of triggers, tripwires, or pressure plates. Such was my specialty. The Aelid were well known for their cunning traps protecting their tombs, and I wasn't taking any chances. Braden, the scholar of the Brotherhood, was getting more and more excited as we traversed the passage. He was translating the wall carvings and was becoming certain that we had finally found the true location of our prize. After walking for several more minutes, we were overjoyed to see what we were hoping to see. The hallway ended at a metal door with the carving of a spider upon it. Now came the true test of Braden's information. The door supposedly had a puzzle lock. By pulling the spider legs in a certain combination, it would unlatch. The wrong combination would spell our deaths, perhaps triggering a collapse of the hallway or some other equally deadly trap. With a shaky hand, I pulled the legs one by one in the order I had memorized. The sixth one, then the first one, the second one, the eighth one, and finally the first one again. I closed my eyes as there were a few loud clicks, and then the door popped open. We all breathed a sigh of relief. Pushing open the door, I looked in at a huge room with a pedestal at the center. Sitting on the pedestal, illuminated by a shaft of sunlight from a tiny hole in the ceiling, was our prize. The floor was covered in a huge mosaic of stylized spider, all 8 of its legs coming to a point and ending up at the door entrance. This was the last of the traps the Aelid left behind to protect their treasure. Again, if it hadn't been for Braden's skill at acquiring information, we may never have known how to solve this last line of defense. I instructed Braden and Reno to remain at the entrance and to tie a rope around my waist in case of a sudden pitfall. Carefully, I began to walk on the darkened tiles that formed the third leg of the spider. Sweat beaded on my forehead, as the pathway made by the tiny pieces of ceramic was very narrow at the start, and one slip again meant instant death. And one slip could again mean instant death, but death never arrived. The information had been correct, and I was able to make it to the pedestal and secure the artifact. Quickly as possible, we made our way back and out into the daylight. Once again, the Brotherhood was triumphant, and it was time to return home. At the tavern that night, we decided to make a pact. We would stash the artifact in a cave not far from Bruma until we researched it further. An item of its magnitude could be very dangerous if mishandled, and we certainly didn't want to sell it without understanding its true value. Braden agreed to contract a local cooper to construct a chest with 3 locks. Each of us would hold a key to one of the locks, so none of would have the access to the artifact without the others being present. For the rest of the evening, we drank merrily and sang many a song of adventures past and adventures to come. Yes, well, that pretty much told me everything. He's killing the other people to get their keys. And if he stayed here, which was right next to my room, which is locked right now, then I think he feasted on me last night. It wasn't a dream.
Hello!
Hello,
What can I do for you today?
Can you tell me about Gelliborn?
Gelliborn? That's odd that you should mention that name. Reynald told me that he was the last vampire he hunted. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere in Skingrad, I believe. He said he tracked Gelborn down and killed him. That's apparently why the guards trust him so readily. They had gotten word from Skingrad's City Watch about Raynil and his so-called accomplishment.
That's very far. I don't want to have to run all the way down to there, especially when I think I'm becoming a vampire, but if I have to, I will. Can you tell me where Raynil Draelis is right now?
And nothing else I can tell you about him. He comes and goes and doesn't talk to people much.
Okay.
Just look for me if you need anything else.
That doesn't actually help too much. Maybe I should go speak to the investigator of Braden's death. I got to find this Reno.
I like you quite a lot.
I like you too, Velia.
Oh, you're back.
Hello?
So, any new revelations in your, investigation?
It's not a joke, sir. Let me tell you about Braden Lyrian.
I'm sure Erlene is very upset. She'll be safe, though. Rainiel has confirmed with us that she isn't infected. Her accusations that Rainiel is lying is not surprising. At this point, she's so upset that she'll say anything to deny what really happened. I suppose if I found out a loved one was something as horrid as a vampire, I'd find any excuse not to believe it either.
Do you know about Gelliborn?
How do you know about that? Too many people don't know how to keep quiet about official matters. Very well. The Skingrad City Watch informed us that Gelliborn was killed by Raynal not too long ago. Gelliborn was a vampire as well, obviously.
I disagree.
What do you mean you disagree? That's a bold statement. What proof do you have that Gelliborn was not a vampire?
I have no proof with me.
Then don't go around flinging accusation and hearsay. If you dare accuse someone of a crime, you must have the proof to back it up. Now, if you believe what you're saying is true, go get me the proof.
I'll be right back.
Keep up the good work, I suppose.
Return with the journal.
Hello.
Hello.
So, any new revelations in your, investigation?
Yes, about Gelliborn.
What proof of your outlandish accusations have you brought me?
Here, I have Gelliborn's journal.
I don't know what to say. It all makes perfect sense now. Why else would Raynal have removed this journal from the crime scene in Skingrad? I heard no mention of a key either. It must have been removed by Raynal from Braden's body before we arrived. To think that 2 innocent men were killed, and that I'm responsible for one of their deaths, I'm speechless. I will rouse the guard and begin a search for him in the city. Meet me at Olev's Tap and Tack in 1 hour.
Oh. Hello.
Do you have any more questions? I'm afraid I know little more.
No, we're getting to this. We'll find Reno Draelis and bring him to justice, actually. Have you heard any good rumors lately?
You hear about Gerunda? He was caught stealing gold, and now he's in jail. I bet Honora's beside herself with grief.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yes, I'll have to ask
I
this
know I
Honora.
sound desperate, but I know I'm right.
Perhaps I can make a profit off of helping them, if everyone's talking about it in town.
Afternoon.
Hello?
I've heard that the Countess Broma is the collector of Academia artifacts, and that she's always seeking new pieces for her collection.
Yes, very true. I guess we'll wait for Olaf, or... did you just... Oh, he checked that rat.
Hi. Anything else I can help with? You just let me know.
Okay.
Just look for me if you need anything else.
How are you today?
No, we're just gonna wait for the guard to come back. To come here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.